In June of this year, 2021, my wife and I were informed that I have cancer, stage 4 throat cancer. And we were told that our only option, from their perspective, was radiation and chemotherapy. And after much soul searching and research, Lily and I decided not to go that route, but to find a more alternative method, because my overall health is good, and the chemo and radiation really promised to be super destructive, and we couldn't justify it. So we're comfortable with that decision. However, once you say no to that assistance, then you're left outside the system. And so that's where we find ourselves, and it's a very lonely place to be honest, because we don't have any guidance. We don't have any professional help. We're searching for answers on our own, and we're paying for all of it on our own. And it's proving to be a real challenge. You know, we haven't told very many people about my cancer. Just, family, close friends. But during this process, I've been losing quite a bit of weight, about 11 kilos, about 25 pounds. And, that's pretty noticeable. So it's, it's being commented on, in a good way mostly, that I'm actually looking healthier. I mean, our cancer-fighting diet has been good for both of us, for sure. For me, weight loss always comes down to whether I'm exercising or not. Or at least that's how it had been, because with the cancer, it's different. The weight loss is different. I remember when they told Lily and I that I had stage 4 throat cancer, somewhere in the back of my mind, I remember thinking, it's like a bomb going off, right? But at the same time, it was like this thought, oh, here's an opportunity to shed some pounds. And then after we turned down their kind offer of radiation and chemotherapy, I remember feeling a little disappointed that I wasn't going to have that opportunity to shed those pounds. But as it turned out, I got my wish. So be careful what you wish for, I think, is the lesson there. As soon as we found out that I had cancer, we changed our diet dramatically to a cancer-fighting, high alkaline, low sugar, primarily plant-based diet. And in those first few months, I was feeling a lot better. I was feeling good. That sudden dietary change, reducing. It was just like, we were just eating super healthy. And I was feeling, more energy. And I was losing weight, but it felt like it was a normal reaction to a dramatic dietary change. So I didn't worry about it. It just felt like it was supposed to be happening. And that's, also in conjunction with the fact that I wasn't drinking a bottle of red wine every single night anymore, which I had done for basically the last 20 years. And so, I'm in Italy. It's what you do. It's what I do. It's what I did. So now I can't do that anymore. Oh, it kills me. It still kills me. But now, it's like 6 months into this thing, and the weight loss is starting to feel a little more like slow starvation on some level, And even today, Lily noticed that I have a new line on my face that's probably due to the continuing weight loss. And I've seen other signs of that elsewhere too, So that's concerning, right? Weight loss is a good thing until it's not a good thing anymore. But the thing is it's difficult to eat. It's physically difficult. The tumor is it's on the back of my tongue and on my tonsil. It's about that big, and kind of partially blocks my throat. And everything that I eat or drink makes contact with the tumor. That's, especially a problem when it comes to alcohol, unfortunately, because it burns. It literally is just like acidic things like oranges, too, will burn. Or sharp things like toast, And it's, the thing is, it's uncomfortable to chew. It's uncomfortable to swallow, even more so. And my appetite really isn't what it used to be. And, psychologically, I'm sure that, that's partially due to the fact that it's just so uncomfortable to eat that, really, when it comes to eating, I look forward to finishing the meal, which is kind of sad, I like to cook, I like to eat, I like going to the store and buying the stuff, that we're going to have. And I still do that, but the enjoyment of eating itself is kind of gone, which is, hopefully not gone forever. It's gone now. One of the reasons we're doing this thing is to put ourselves into a better position so that we can get back to what we had, basically, try and take control of our lives once again. That's why we're launching the GoFundMe. As I make this video, we're maybe like a week or two away from launching the campaign. It's odd. It's odd to ask for help in this way, but I think it's also, I don't know, it's okay. I feel like it's okay to ask. I mean, I feel okay about it. I feel like it's okay for us to ask, and we're in a good, we're good people to ask, I think. We're in a tough spot, and it would be nice to take control again of our lives, and some assistance would really make that, would be a huge difference. I mean, this cancer, it's been almost exactly 2 years. I first noticed it on Christmas Day, 2019. And then I delayed. I mean, of course, at first it was like, whatever, it'll go away. And then the world changed for all of us, right? February 2020. And going into the doctor's office was not that appealing. And we were under lockdown for 3 months. But yeah, and then I finally went in and started the year-plus process of them finding out that it was a tumor. I don't know why it took them so long. I knew exactly where it was, but anyway, don't get me started on that. But, the cancer, it's really become kind of omnipresent, It's like the only reason we get up in the morning is to kind of deal with it and the fallout from it. And the realities of it. I mean, it's like, even just eating a particular kind of diet, juicing, getting the supplements and, all the other kind of stuff. I mean, it's like literally it's like a full-time job, the cancer itself, and daily maintenance of it, to keep ourselves. I mean, basically right now we're in a position where we're trying to keep the tumor at bay, because the way we think of it is we refuse the chemotherapy and the radiation, because the idea of destroying my health with a poison that is chemo, a cancer-causing poison, and radiation, having my health destroyed, and they told us in great detail how it would be destroyed. And the idea of getting to that point of like destruction and then building back from there to good health, it just seems counterintuitive. I mean, I just couldn't do it. Unfortunately, Lily felt the same way. I mean, it was impossible to justify that. Maybe for somebody else or a different situation, but, they say that my cancer is located, that it's limited to a location at this point, which is good. And so what we're trying to do is create an environment inside of me that is difficult for the cancer to thrive in, that high alkaline, low sugar, plant-based diet, along with the other things that we're doing. And so creating that environment that the cancer has a hard time thriving in or even living in potentially. There are cases of people being able to make themselves cancer-free using, these non-chemo, non-radiation type programs. And so far, I mean, I'm really impressed with just the change of diet and what it can do. I mean, my God, I should have done this decades ago. You know, I should have done this decades ago, because it's the system works so much better, and the idea is that you deal with the cancer that you have, but you decrease dramatically the likelihood that you're going to get cancer by having this kind of diet, you know, and living a certain kind of way. I mean, so much of it is about our environment, what we eat, where we live, what we do, what we consume, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink. You know, I mean, there's a lot that we can do to avoid cancer. And once you have it, there's a lot we can do to control it or keep it at bay. Control it like diabetes is controlled. You know, that's the way I look at it. So, you know, declining chemo and radiation still feels like the right decision, no doubt about it. But doing so has made getting assistance very, very difficult, because once you say no to the mainstream, boy, they really, I mean, they kind of slammed the door. I mean, I was amazed at how angry they were when I said no. She was, the oncologist was, I mean, she cursed me. You know, it's like, this is a doctor, and she's like promising that the tumor will kill me. So, you know, it's the fact that system won't help me doesn't bother me that much, to be honest, because I don't really trust that system so much anymore. But it's difficult to plow through this thing when it's just the two of us, and we, you know, our resources are limited, and we don't know what the hell we're doing. You know, you go online, you can find anything, right? But it's not necessarily right. It's not necessarily true. It's not right for you, potentially. So you do what you can. But boy, you know, some professional help would be a real relief. Some guidance would really be would be huge, you know. So that's what we're, you know, short term. We want to tame the tumor. And, you know, long term, I'd like to be cancer free. I don't know if I can do that, but it's, I think that I could certainly get to a point where I'm living more comfortably than I am now. I mean, now I could do this for the rest of my life, and it's still way better than having subjected myself and my wife to the horrors of you know, mainstream cancer treatment. But I would prefer if we could make it easier on me, which makes it easier on Lily. You know, I think this is. I mean, I really believe in the idea that we can, you know, physician, heal thyself, and I think it's true. At the end of the day, we're the ones that make the decisions for us. That either, you know, are a help or a hindrance. And recently, because of circumstances, we've been doing helpful things that have made dramatic difference. We just want to take it to the next level, and that's that thing. That's why we're asking. That's why we're here on the GoFundMe thing, because we want to take it to the next level, and we want to win, you know, and you know, I mean, not just like win today, but have health be a standard for the rest of our lives, and for us to be able to live the lives, because we're so lucky to have these wonderful lives that we have. I mean, honestly, you know, super, super lucky. You know, even in these difficult, weird, surreal times that we live in, but we still have each other, which is everything. We live in, you know, in such a beautiful place. There's so much beauty here all the time. It's astounding. 20 years later, and I'm still always just amazed. You know, I get so much joy out of just going for my cup of coffee in the morning, walking into the piazza. You know, it's the little things, and so anyway, the goal is to get some guidance and assistance in the proper regime, so that we can resolve to the best of our ability the tumor, decrease its the discomfort level, maybe even get rid of it, but you know, mostly live with it, live with the cancer, and so thank you very much for considering helping us. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you even thinking about it. Not just for me, but for Lily, because I feel bad having put her through this. But again, thank you, and Godspeed, right? Going to get through this thing, going to kick some ass. I'm looking forward to it.